Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming to our annual tree decorating memorial service, where we honor your loved ones for the holiday season. We will have some music tonight, special music, and following the service, there will be some time for refreshments and communicating with each other on your feelings, or maybe it's just a conversation, or maybe commonalities in grief, or just celebrating the holiday as you wish. Okay? Before we get started, I just would like to introduce our staff. Some of you may have not know all of us or have dealt with all of us throughout the year. So first of all, I'm Chris Kwieleczek. I'm one of the owners and film directors here. Michael Caleri, he's my business partner, owner, and funeral director as well. And then we have Kyle Grant. He is our funeral director. We always call him the real boss. Anyway, and then Mike Visick as staff help. Thank you for coming tonight. Holly Anderley will be presiding tonight over the services, and she is from First Baptist Church, but she has also an Army chaplain as well, so she's very versed in many different religions. And might I say, services. Thank you.
Modern technology, I'm going to try to do this on my tablet. So I'm going to hope for the best. Sometimes it's really difficult around the holiday season when we begin to feel grief, and for most of us that have experienced a loss over the last year, the grief is still raw, and we find that the tears still come. Maybe even faster now than they did initially, because oftentimes when we lose somebody, we feel a sense of numbness that kind of covers the grief. So I wanted to open tonight with a prayer, which is a psalm of tears that was written by Father Edward Hayes. So it's a combination of a prayer and a psalm at the same time. Lord, beloved God, since all communion with you is prayer, may even our tears be psalms of petition and canticles of praise to you. This is a prayer that you value greatly, the prayer of our tears. It is a prayer that you always hear, for you are a compassionate and a kind God. And Lord, we know you understand that when we're overcome by our tears, unable to speak or form a spoken prayer, that these very tears voice volumes of verse. All truly great prayer rises from deep inside and springs spontaneously to the surface. It would seem then that from among the many beautiful prayers, the sacred songs and canticles of praise, our tears may be the best worship of all. Help us not to be ashamed of them. Show us how we can let go of control and let these prayers of our hearts, our tears, flow naturally and freely to you, our blessed Lord. In times of sorrow or in times of joy, blessed be our tears, the holy prayers of our hearts. Amen. We're going to light the 5 candles now, and I'd like to ask Kyle and Mike to come up and light the candles.
lighting of the 5 candles. As we light these 5 candles in memory of and in honor of the people who have died, we light one for our grief, one for our courage, one for our memories, one for our love, and one for our hope. The first candle represents our grief. The pain of losing our loved ones is intense. It reminds us of the depth of the love we have for them. The second candle represents our courage to confront our sorrow, to confront each other, and to change our lives. The third candle is for our memories. The times we laughed, the times we cried, the times we were angry with each other, the silly things they did, and the caring and the joy they gave to us. The fourth candle is the light of love. As we enter this holiday season, day by day we cherish the special place in our hearts that will always be reserved for our loved ones. We thank them for the gift that their living brought to each of us. And the last candle is the light of hope. It reminds us that our love and the memories of the people who have died are ours forever. May the glow of the flame be our source of hopefulness now and forever.
We'd like to introduce Kate Martin and Tom Turkowski, who will be performing the song The Rainbow Connection.
Why are there so many songs about rainbows, and what's on the other side? Rainbows are visions and only illusions, and rainbows have nothing to hide. So we've been told, and some choose to believe it. I know they're wrong, wait and see. Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and we. Who said that every wish would be heard and answered when wished on a morning star? Somebody thought of that, and someone believed it, and look what it's done so far. What's so amazing that keeps us stargazing, and what do we think we might see? Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. All of us under its spell, we know that it's probably magic. Have you been half asleep, and have you heard voices? I've heard them calling my name. Is this the sweet sound that calls the young sailors? The voice might be one and the same. I've heard it too many times to ignore it. It's something that we're supposed to be. Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. La da 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 da, la da.
Merry Christmas from heaven. I still hear the songs, I still see the lights. I still feel your love on cold, wintry nights. I still share your hopes and all your cares. I'll even remind you to please say your prayers. I just want to tell you, you still make me proud. You stand head and shoulders above all the crowd. Keep trying each moment to stay in his grace. I came here before you to help set your place. You don't have to be perfect all the time. He forgives you the slip if you continue to climb. To my family and friends, please be thankful today. I'm still close beside you in a new, special way. I love you all dearly. Now don't shed a tear, because I'm spending my Christmas with Jesus this year.
It's easy to say, isn't it? It's very easy to talk about don't cry, don't shed a tear, don't be anything but joyous. But you know, the grief of Christmas can be one of the hardest and the most difficult griefs that there is. Society and the television, the news media tells us that the holiday season, Christmas, is supposed to be a happy and joyful time, right? We're all supposed to gather in one household filled with family, and there's going to be all kinds of snow coming down, and there's beautiful colored lights, and everything is gorgeous, and everybody smiles, and we all bake Christmas cookies together, and the recipe never goes wrong. And everything is perfect, right? People are giggling, singing joyously, and laughing and hugging. But where in that image is there space for our grief? Where in that image is there space for the person that is no longer with us this year? Maybe for the first time. What if we don't want to sing joyfully? What if we don't want to sing Christmas carols? What if we want to sing songs of lament instead at Christmas? What if the colors offend us because they're too bright and they're too happy? And everybody else is happy, but we're not happy because this person that we loved so much isn't physically here beside us. And what will Christmas be like without them? Or what if we want so desperately to join in that celebration, but we don't know how? Or maybe we feel guilty, feeling happy in somebody's absence. You see, the grief of Christmas is a very much unspoken thing. We don't want to put a damper on other people's holidays, and so we don't talk about it. We just sit and feel terrible. And we want to honor the memory of our loved ones, so we try to go through with all of these rituals, with all of the traditions. But yet maybe our hearts aren't quite in it right now. There's something missing. And that something will be missing from this point on. What then will Christmas be like for all of us? When the grief of Christmas comes on to us too strong, I'd like you to hold this thought in your mind, as sad as it is, that on the very first Christmas, there was a grief that was a part of the Christmas story, and we don't tend to remember it. But that terrible King Herod had just cruelly ordered the massacre of all male children under the age of 2 at that time. And Bethlehem was filled with weeping and crying and sorrow. There was great oppression, there was great darkness, there was great poverty. So in the midst of this horrible night, in the midst of this darkness and in this time when the politics of Rome were coming down so heavily on Judea, God came into the world as a very tiny, very vulnerable baby. And in the midst of that, we see that grief and joy blend together, and that heaven came down so that we could feel a peace of hope again. Christmas, then, is a promise. Christmas is a promise to all of us that we will not walk through our grief by ourselves, that God will be with us. It's a promise to us that God will be here next to us. Even if we can't see God, God will be right here, right by our sides. It's a promise that there is hope, that there's hope for life everlasting after this one. And there's a hope that this life will indeed go on. That even though you gasp for breath right now, that in the days to come, that breath will come easier. And the terrible, sharp pain will dull to a gentle ache. You will never forget, but you will remember with peace, and you will remember with warmth. And slowly you'll find that the lights on the tree will begin to glisten again. You'll find that the carols aren't quite so jarring as they might be this year. And you'll find that there is an angel song out there after all. But right now, it may be difficult to feel the peace, the love, the joy, and that hope. And it's okay for you to feel like that this year. It's okay. Be gentle with yourself. Do what you can to find your peace this year. Enjoy what you can enjoy, and excuse yourself when it's just too much. If old traditions are a little bit too difficult for you right now, don't do them. Find something else this year. It may be that next year or the year after, you may find your way back to those traditions. But then again, you may find that as your life has changed, you have changed. And so there may be new traditions and new ways to move forward, new ways to celebrate the holidays and to celebrate the ongoing presence of that person that you loved so much in your heart and in your life's memories. Later on here, in a minute or two, you'll have an opportunity to hang a crystal on our tree. This crystal is made in the shape of a tear. And that tear, if you look at it as the light shines through it, it reflects and it dazzles and it sparkles. This is a reminder of the beauty that can be ours when we make it through the grief, when we hold on to that hope. In the midst of the most horrible sadness, the light is present. In the midst of loss, there is life to come. And there's a promise that while weeping may endure for a night, joy will come in the morning. For now, take care of yourself. Love yourself. And may your memories be warm, and may your holiday be filled with hope. As I read the name of your loved ones, I would like you to invite you to come up. We have the crystal teardrops, and as I read your loved one's name, I'd like to invite you to come up and take a crystal teardrop and hang it off of the tree. Amanda Anderson, William Anderson, Patrick Bader, Grace Bars, Sherry Barron, Jimmy Bolia, Michael Bailey, Edward Belmore, Marlene Beretti, John Blankman, Terry Bodie, Darren Brault, Kenneth Kane, Martha Carreno, Margaret Casares, Thomas Casey, Louis Chavez, Donald Cook, David Dargan, Gary Dolly, Alexander Demarest, Vicky Durbin, Jacqueline Harold Dias, Joan Feichner, James Fields, Lois Fox, Joyce Friend, Dawn Fugate, Kay Falk, Gail Gallagher, Esperanza Gallegos de Prieto, Sandra Governatori, Howard Green Jr., Charlotte Griffiths, Peter Gum, Thomas Gursky Jr., Nancy Hamilton, Lovey Herman, Terry Hess, Sharon Hetland, Thomas Hetland, Ronald Hewitt Jr., Carl Holtz, Clarence Hyatt, Lorraine Hyatt, Richard Hynek, Richard Einhoff, Evelyn Einhoff, Gloria Jacobson, Betty Jensen, Glenn Jonas, Sheila Johnson, Frank Kasparin, Brian Kernbauer, Janice Kepke, George Kaiser, Sherry Ladd, Stephen Lambert, Danny Larrabee, Betty Larson, Lynette Lewins, Barbara Litke, Idabel Luecki, Jason Long, Stephen Loomis, Mary Lutke, Beverly Lund, Francis Mante, James Maynard, Amelia Mejia, Tanya Mejia, Sandra Miller, Ramiro Moreno, Norman Mosley, Jeannie Nelson, Walter Nelson, Nancy Newman, Veronica Nichols, Sandra Nielsen, David Neeson, Martel Neeson, James Oberholzer, William Bill Olive, David Olson, Susan Olson, Grace Ostergaard, Regina Paul, Juanita Pena, Audrey Petavine, Donna Peterson, Judith Peterson, Clarence Phillip, Loretta Pitchelman, Richard Platt, Herbert Poplowski, Carol Preston, Eugene Prudhomme, Jean Radke, Nancy Reyes, Russell Riggy, Velma Roberts, Israel Rodriguez, Leroy Rodema, Mark Romero, Kathleen Ruffalo, Phyllis Schmidt, Thomas Serio, Clyde Seifert, Lorraine Sliker, Glenn Sorensen, Robert Spencer, Betty Stockwell. David Summerford, Bethel Tunstra, Selma Umberger, Gary Walters, Eleanor Weinbrenner, Mona Wilkinson, Daryl Williamson, Alice Wolfdesino, Doris Yarrington, Michael Zardstorm, Julie Steiner, Marcia Garcia, Noah Phillips, Annie Jacobson, Norma Garbedian. Laverne Lofton. Michael Brinza. Aaron Taylor. Kevin Wangard. Gerald Sears. Arthur Felton Anderson, Jr. Because no one's perfect, is there anyone that we have left out accidentally? Please come up and let me announce your family member's name. Gary Gregerson. I mispronounced it earlier. I think I said Jurgensen.
Oh,
Is there anyone else that I missed? And of course, we lift up in prayer all those that have gone before, who if we filled for every single one, there wouldn't be enough room on the tree. Let's pause now and listen to the song, Merry Christmas, Darling.
the greeting cards have all been sent. The Christmas rushes through, but I still have one wish to make, a special one for you. Merry Christmas, darling. We're apart, that's true, but I can dream, and in my dreams I'm Christmasing with you. Holidays are joyful, there's always something new. But every day was a holiday when I was near to you. The lights on my tree, I know you can see, I know it every day. Logs on the fire fill me with desire, just to see you and to say that I wish you Merry Christmas, Happy New Year too. I've just one wish on this Christmas Eve, I wish I were with you. wish I were with you. I wish I were with you.
Thank you for being here tonight to celebrate with us, to celebrate your loved ones, to celebrate the hope of the future. So, as I close us out in prayer tonight, may God go with you and before you. May the God who weeps with those who weep, who is present with those who mourn, walk with you each and every day. In this season of joy, may God's joy be our strength to walk through the pain. In this season of hope, may we cling to the future anticipation that God will make all things right. And in a season of celebrating birth, may we find the new birth of healing in our hearts and in our lives now and forever. Amen.
We'd like you to sing Silent Night with us, just 2 verses if you'd like to sing along. Thank you. Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round young virgin mother and child, holy infant so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in heavenly peace. Holy night, holy night, shepherds quake at the sight, glorious streams from heaven afar, heavenly hosts sing hallelujah. Christ the Savior is born. Christ the Savior is born.
Again, thank you for coming out tonight. Please join us for some refreshments in our hospitality room just across the way of the lobby. This concludes our services for tonight.